having too much fun already? Good morning. Good morning. Happy birthday, Ernest Holmes. And who the heck is that? Ernest Holmes is the founder of this teaching. He was a brilliant soul who synthesized all of the great scriptures. He loved the great scriptures. The Vedas, the Bible, the Bhagavad Gita, all of it. The Quran. He took it all and made it one for us. But you know what he did? I think he loved people so much that he took all the rules out. Because religious scientists don't like rules, do we?
No.
No, and so if you tell a religious scientist, hey, turn right there, they're going to say, well, let's see if we can explore the other direction. So he took all the rules out and a lot of the dogma. He figured, well, if I take that out, I got to take that out too. And created the most wonderful teaching, attracted so many amazing new thought writers who added to the teaching with the same kinds of ideas, making us all inclusive, making us all loving, making us all connected to one another. And wow, so that's who we are. And who am I? My goodness. I am Reverend Sharon Dunn-Alberg. I often forget my new last name. My husband's like, well, someday maybe you should mention it. And I am the senior minister here, the spiritual director of a Sacramento Center for Spiritual Living, where we believe that you can change your life by changing your thinking. And do we not have the best band?
Yes.
Yes. And Etta McMahon is always my favorite person to be next to me on Sunday mornings, and we're going to take you in. Our topic for today is a new life. Our theme for the year is a grand rising, and our theme for the month is a grand rising. We have a lot of themes and titles. Before we get into this, I want to skip to this. I want to thank all of you who showed up in the rain. I also want to thank those who are watching. It's not a make wrong. We're glad you're here as well, in your pajamas and your slippers. And so I thought a little humor might be nice. If you choose not to find joy in the snow, you will have less joy in your life, but still have the same amount of snow. Ashe. And now, I absolutely have the honor and privilege of introducing our practitioner of the day. And we say practitioner even though she is also a minister, but we are always practitioners first. And Reverend Debbie is a minister affiliate with the Emerson Institute. She was also on our founding board of trustees. She was also in the founding visioning, which is one of our spiritual practices, to bring me here. And so I bring her here. Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I could just listen to myself be introduced all day and just kind of take that in. Who doesn't want that, right? Welcome, as Reverend Sharon said, to the Sacramento Center for Spiritual Living. And in this time, as we've already deepened, first I want to just give you a brief history of me on the way to the center today. Does the universe ever punch you a little bit and say, slow down? I'm racing out the door going, oh, I'm a little later than I thought. I lost track of time, all the things. And my food is in the car with me because I didn't have time to eat it, and I start choking on my food. Eating it while I'm racing. I'm trying to text Reverend Sharon and Ruth saying, I'm on my way, I promise. But really, it was the universe's reminder to me to slow down. And I want to honor and thank our One Love band And the music here, because I felt like that was just a deepening of that reminder to slow down, to really be here in this moment, and that's what we're going to do in our invocation right now as we go deeper. There is only one. There is one infinite presence, one infinite sweetness and rhythm and joy and fundamental ground of being. It is the pure light, the pure energy, the pure radiance. It is the wholeness and the grace. That is all that is. And I am one with it. And each and every person here and each and every person watching remotely is not remote, but is here also. And we are all one with this infinite presence. That is all that we are. It is the stuff and substance of our being. It is the stuff and substance of our lives. This life moves through us as divine presence, and it moves as this center today, as the talk is amazing, delivered through Reverend Sharon, by Reverend Sharon, and yet as the light of the divine. And so we are open to hearing exactly what is ours to hear. We take it into our weeks. The music is amazing. The technology works beautifully. Everything is in the perfect rhythm of God, and this is happening now. It is all that is happening. The board of directors is flowing with truth, intelligence, and love. Everyone, everything works out for us. This beautiful building is moved into completion step by step in the most magnificent ways, faster than anyone has conceived of. It is so brilliant. All is well right here and right now. All of the resources, both human and funding, everything is in its perfect place for all of us and for this center. It is done, and so it is. And now for our readings. What if the great opportunity of life isn't in trying to get the world to be a certain way, but in learning from whatever the world gives us? Being and becoming take time, and this commitment to stay open is at the very core of what it means to be a person. When a problem confronts you, take it into the silence of your consciousness. Instead of thinking of the problem, think of the answer. God does not have problems. Therefore, the divine mind is the answer to every human problem. Principles never have problems. Problems are solved by bringing them under the control of principles. The problem is dissolved as the principle flows through it to the correct answer. Thank you. And now, just because we haven't had enough yet, here's our One Love Band.
I hope y'all join in and sing along. Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze dripping by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling blue. I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom in a tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. when you shine. You know how I feel. Scent of the pine. You know how I feel. Freedom is mine. You know how I feel. It's a new dawn. It's a new day. It's a new life. It's a new life. It's a new life. It's a new life for me. It's a new life. It's a new life. It's a new life for me. It's a new life. It's a new life. It's a new life for me. It's a new life.
And that, folks, is what a grand rising is. It's a new life. We get to every day wake up and have a new life. Isn't that wonderful? Whew. So, today's topic is it's a new life. Wow, you would think that we coordinate. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. That was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. We are going to say hi to Laura as well, because I bet she's watching. She's the fourth Beatle in the band. You know, no one can say that they haven't faced a bully. If not directly, if not on the playground, then on the world stage. I say this because history has presented this archetype repeatedly for us to learn about the misuse of power. Now remember, when I'm talking, and I remind everyone every week that there is no other. So when we talk about these kinds of things, we must look within. I'd be the first to admit, which is why you let me come back every summer. Power is a God principle, and this is the words from Sharon. Power is a God principle, and we did read, Debbie read about principle, and for those of you here for the first time, principle is what is true for all. Love, light, peace, joy, harmony, abundance, wisdom, intelligence, love. I'll go on and on. Power is a God principle, and misused, it becomes a godless principle granted in free will to the likes of humankind. Not being kind. And so what can we learn about power? Of course, we can learn that the antidote for the misuse of power is faith. And I'm going to convince you by the time we're finished. A good example of this is found in the book of Samuel. You know, I don't always preach from the Bible, but sometimes, damn, it's just the best. But the book of Samuel, in the story of David and Goliath, which is one of my favorite stories. And remember, when you're reading these parables, when you're reading the Vedas, the Bhagavad Gita, all the things we talked about earlier, it's not about the literal meaning. It is rather, how can I relate to it? What can I do with it? And how can I use it in my life? When we get to the literal meaning of things, we tend to want to use it more as a weapon. And that's not what it's meant for. It's meant to be used to learn how to love one another. Love, of course, is one of my themes that I harp about every week because it's what we're here for. Today our conversation includes the story of David and Goliath and these three key points. A new life, Thank you to the One Love Band. An old problem and the only answer. And so, of course, I want to set the terms for this conversation as I do by definition. The archetype. What is that? The archetype is the original pattern or model of which all things of the same type are representatives or copies, an original model or pattern. The mother is an archetype. Okay? The bully is another definition here. One who is habitually cruel, insulting, or threatening to others who are weaker, smaller, or in some way vulnerable. And I would change the definition just a little, tweaking to the dictionary of Sharon, that none of us are weaker, etc., but we may be behaving in that way, perceived in that way, weaker, smaller, or in some way vulnerable. Well, we're all vulnerable. And so the story of David and Goliath is super scary. When I talk about David and Goliath, again, how are you, Goliath? How are you, David? What does the story mean? How can you relate to it? What is happening in your life right now that is the story of David and Goliath? I love to look at things that way. The Philistines were attacking the Israelites. Now, the Philistines are now the Palestinians, just so you know. Right away, we become aware that history repeats itself. And we need not be caught up in effects. What are effects? Anybody?
Results? Effects.
Anybody else? Effects?
Outer manifestations.
Outer
conditions,
manifestations.
Based, reflecting a cause.
Everything out there is an effect.
Yep.
And so, getting caught up in everything out there, I don't know if you do that. Well, I certainly don't. And the story of David and Goliath is also a story of facing a giant challenge. There's a kind of a giggle over here. Anybody? Every morning, a giant Philistine named Goliath challenged any Israelite to fight him. I got caught in the, because I looked at this story over and over all week, and I just found so much in every sentence. Every morning. Really? Do we not wake up every morning starting over with all that? I love this story. Goliath was bigger and taller than anyone else, and he was fierce. He wore, now listen to this, heavy armor, carried a sword, a spear, and a large shield. No one dared to fight him. Well, he sure got dressed for the day. You ever get dressed for the day fully armored? David was a young shepherd boy. Let's look at him. I like the little outfit. You ever wake up in the morning and just put barely anything on and just go, I'm here, world. I don't need no armor. His older brothers were soldiers in Israel's army. One day, David took his brothers some food. When he arrived at the army's camp, he heard Goliath challenge. David asked the soldiers why no one defended Israel. His brothers were angry and told him to go take care of the sheep. I paused there this week. Did you ever think, well, why is this happening? And be a little shamed? But David knew the Lord would defend Israel. Now remember, our teaching, where is the Lord?
The law.
And everywhere present, and everything in creation has been created by the Creator who creates out of itself. King Saul knew of David's faith, so he asked to see David. David told Saul, King Saul, he was not afraid to fight Goliath. David explained that once when he was looking after his sheep, he killed a lion and a bear. The Lord protected him then, and David knew the Lord would protect him now. And so what did King Saul do? He gave David his armor. So in this challenge, are you gathering faith and courage by a feat you once succeeded in? You know, I'm good. I can face Goliath. I've killed a bear. I've killed a lion. I think that faith builds on itself. I got through that. I made it. I made it in faith. I can do it again. I can do it more. I think that idea of building faith gives us confidence. I was talking earlier with one of the band members about source. You know, thinking outside of ourselves that's my source. My boss, my paycheck, my inheritance, my job, whatever it is. My spouse, my partner. I was going to say my children, but I'm like, no, I'm their source. Mistakenly, of course. So King Saul gave David his armor, but guess what? Of course it didn't fit. He's a boy. So David took it off. He decided to fight without any armor. That's pretty deep. He decided to fight armored in faith. I gotta say, that is the armor of choice. Please believe me. David collected 5 smooth stones and put them in a bag. He took his sling and shepherd's staff and went to face Goliath. Are people around you offering you support that doesn't actually fit? I'm hearing those little hums. I just want to make sure people online hear them. Can we do that a little louder? I love you guys. You have me back every week. It's just great. When Goliath saw David, of course, he made fun of him. He said a shepherd boy could not beat him. David shouted back that he trusted the Lord to protect him. I'm thinking right now of Brock Purdy. That guy, he's like a David and Goliath story if you tell me 100 times. I just think he comes out and he's like, I can do this, and pulls it out at the last minute. Anyway, go Niners. Really, Spirit, I would like little less distraction. So facing your challenges, I'm asking, have you been discouraged by influencers? You're not going to beat me. You're just a boy. David ran toward Goliath. He quickly threw a stone with his sling. The stone hit Goliath right between the eyes and went deep into the forehead. I didn't think there was anything to say about that. That's just what it is. And the giant man fell to the ground. The Lord helped David defeat Goliath without a sword or armor. So these stones, I thought, 5 stones. What's the significance of 5 stones? Of course, I had to research that. And just for your information, because this is a little bit of a side story, faith is a stone, trust is a stone, courage is a stone, service is a stone. They say obedience, but for some reason wives don't like that word. So I translated, because I'm a spiritual translator and I can make stuff up. And so obedience became service. Yeah, come on, work with me. Praise is a stone. Praise I translated into gratitude. Because we don't praise something outside of ourselves. We praise as in become grateful for being that is. And so when the Philistines saw that Goliath was defeated, now the story goes, when they saw that he was dead, but I thought that was a little morbid. I just went ahead with defeated because this is theoretical, this is a translation. They ran away in fear and the Israelites won the battle. David trusted the Lord, and the Lord protected Israel. Great story, though, huh? Isn't it a great story? And I know you've already related it to something going on in your life. How many? Cool. Oh, I got this from Carol Marr, because that's what you usually get. She's the biggest religious scientist. Don't tell me what to do. I'll give you this. Okay, I'll make amends after. What does Ernest Holmes say? Ernest Holmes says the best way to arrive at the highest consciousness is to have great faith in the willingness and the ability of life to do all for us. Not some for us, all for us, by working through us. Therefore, through the door of our own thought, we enter into the universal consciousness, into a complete realization of life and truth. And as we sit in the silence of our own souls and listen, it will be the greatest thing that we will ever do. Wow. In the completeness, we are lost, and yet we are found. This is what is meant that a man or a one must lose one's life in order to find it. We are lost to the human and found in the divine. Isn't that beautiful? And so when I talk about a new life, every day is a new life and an opportunity with this wonderful theme of a grand rising. And given that we have an infinite life, and that life is good, because we have that logic, the science that tells us God is infinite, therefore it can't be opposed, therefore there's no dark opposition, therefore it must be good, then life must be expanding our finite life to experience more of our good. Isn't that wonderful? I'm going to say that one more time. Given that we have an infinite life, and that life is good, then life must be about expanding our finite life to experience more of who's good? Our good. So it is to meet adversity with opportunity, animosity with amity, friendliness, and suffering with joy. I love this. That's what this teaching's about. And, well, it's football week. This teaching is what I call the playbook for the grand rising. Good one, huh? I know I'm smitten with myself. If the playbook, it's the playbook for using principle in the face of any and all suffering. Folks, this is a big year. 2024. I don't think anything but a grand rising is appropriate for our annual theme. And we're going to do this every week. We're going to use this playbook to be love in the world so that we neutralize anything unlike it in the world. Because we are needed. All of us Davids are needed right now more than ever. Put that armor down. Put that opinion down, that anger, that hate. Don't add to that. Just wear your little, what was it, a little fur thing across with a little sheepskin and just get out there with love. It's the playbook to meet all situations, circumstances, and conditions with a way to avoid the temptation to get caught up in effects and the drama of human survival. You understand that's what's going on here, is that we are all surviving. And when we survive in fear, it shows up as it does. When we show up in love, it shows up as it does. We need to go back to the 60s where there was free love and our protests were just free love. It just kind of blew the older generation away. They were like, oh my God, what are we doing now? Their bras are off, the clothes are off. We're just like loving one another. I loved it, gosh. Love my little sheepskin. And the science of mind is a synthesis of all of that. Yes, the sacred text of Buddhism, of belonging, and it is in the playbook library. So the old problem that I said was a key point, is there such a thing as a new problem? Thank you. Thank you, sister. Thank you. Because, golly gosh, if we're still telling the Bible stories, and then we turn on the news and who's in the Bible story if it's not David and Goliath? Wow. What do we learn? Can we be fooled by the news? Is any news new? And this is why the sacred texts are so sacred. They remind us, like, wow, we've been here before. We're as a species, we have one job. God gave us one job, just one job, and that was to love one another. And that is a couple of people that just need to be fired. Jeez. On the more serious note, however, entire civilizations, cultures, societies, customs, traditions shift because we forfeit wisdom for reimagining ourselves. It's already been written. We have the playbook. We change entire systems because we what? Misuse power. And so the only answer, I know you've been waiting for me to get there. I know that's why you came. Because I have the answer. What do you think the answer is?
Give yourself to love.
Say that a little louder, please.
Give yourself to love. The song started in my head.
What the world needs now.
Thank you. Thank you. Look around. Look around who's in this room. Can you, and we all have a past with each other. Can we let that go? Let that go for a sec. Turn around and look at one another. Can you imagine we all showed up today? We showed up today. We're in this room. Why? To love one another. So that why? So that we can go out there in the world all loved up. Because there's a lot of distractions. Our book of the month, and as I'm getting there, I promise. Our book of the month is the 4 pivots. And I want to read a couple of brief quotes, because I really, really like this book. Working harder, removing barriers, and analyzing policies simply don't get at the deeper, more fundamental issues that plague our movements for justice. Trust, vision, wholeness, humane relationships, and hope are the real lifeline of movement building. Well, you don't see that on the news. This means working on self-transformation, healing, hopefulness, and cultivating a vision of possibility. And mind you, I'm going to be sharing, because I think we should, what is our vision as a community? Here's another one. Fear, scarcity, division, distrust, isolation are all at the root of many of the world's problems. We have become too comfortable with surface solutions to really deep problems. We focus on building the organization instead of building healthy relationships in our own family. And when we don't turn inward to deal with our own stuff, we build up this false idea about power and ultimately build movements with wounded warriors. This is a good book. This is a really good book. I didn't write it, but wow. And I want to say, this is why we're here today. We're building this family. We're going to make mistakes, aren't we? Why? Because I love you. No. Why? Because we're human. We're human. It's why we have this spiritual community. It's why we exist. We are a welcoming sanctuary community where all are accepted, valued, and supported in the global family. Do we accept everybody? Heck no. But it's a vision. It is the banks of the river. I know you all do. We are here to learn how to return to love, as Debbie said. How to contribute love to our grand rising. That's what we're doing all year long. We are contributing love to our grand rising. How to respect each other and our different ideas and to share those ideas with loving kindness. Don't forget that ingredient of loving kindness. Without it, the cake falls. How to recognize when we get triggered and do our own inner work of self-transformation. I'm exhausted by it. How to forgive ourselves and each other. How to return to compassion. How to be driven by our vision, mission, and purpose. Mission? We inspire personal and global transformation through the teachings of Science of Mind. Our purpose, which I love, in joy and love we connect in service to all life. And that's our intention, isn't it? We are so excited about this home, about opening that sanctuary, about being able to offer ourselves to the community. And I just got a call this week from a leader in a 12-step recovery program. When are you going to be able to sublet? When are we going to be able to come and have our meetings there? They're aligned with our teaching. Don't forget, you are, as Cookie, I call Cookie our ambassador. And she'll talk to she says she won't, but she'll talk to anybody about us. She talks to strangers now. She brings them in off the street.
Whatever works. Whatever works.
We're here to build faith in God, in ourselves, and each other. Call it spirit, call it whatever you want to call it. Just call it. And again, Ernest Holmes says, somewhere along the line, we are going to have to find a faith greater than all our doubts and fears and uncertainties. Somewhere along the line, we must find the love greater than all animosity, the peace beyond our confusion. This is the pathway that we are all secretly seeking, whether we know it or not. We are being guided by a loving intelligence which evermore seeks to bring us comfort and goodwill, happiness, success, health, and abundance. I want that. And in summary, one more from Ernest Holmes, I will leave you with this. How necessary it is not to attach our problems to the divine mind, but to unite the divine mind with the answer to the problem. For there is a vast difference. Principles, again, as Debbie read earlier, have no problems. Therefore, in a sense, we subject our finite problems to the infinite intelligence which automatically solves them through our recognition and acceptance that they are being solved. Give it to God. Let go, let God. That's actually a slogan from our recovery programs. In actual practice, this means that we rearrange our thinking in such a way that we permit new ideas to flow in. The ideas, fears, and tensions that obstructed this flow are released. The stream flows free again. It is in this sense that God is the answer to every human problem. And translate that. Love is the answer to all. Let us pray. I am so happy and cheered up to know that there's a power greater than all, that creates all, that is all, that is the answer, that is the Alpha and Omega, that is infinite, that is loving, intelligent. It is the wisdom available to its creation. It creates out of itself when allowed. When invited. It's not bossy, demanding, mandating. It waits. It is that wee, small voice. And I know that that voice is within me and all of us. That to be still and know is to be guided, guarded, and protected by that is. It is the source, it is the why, it is the purpose, it is the reason for existence. And so right here and right now, I give it praise. I lift all of us up into it. I give thanks for it expressed as each one of us. This building, this vision, this mission, this purpose, how it is the principle of belonging. I don't have to know how God does God's work. I just let it. I just let it. I move myself out. I move that bloated nothingness out of the way. And just let God walk this earth as Sharon, as each of us, here, everywhere. We are connected in the oneness of the one. That means that we take care of one another. That means that anything unlike it moves out of the way. That is what shifts our culture, our communities. That is the playbook. How clear, how concise, and how easy that is. I am so grateful to know that that is the power, that there is only one answer, and that answer is love, and I got that answer. And for this prayer being answered from before it was even spoken, from before there was time and space, I give thanks. I release my word into the law that just makes it so because I trust it, because I have a conviction of it, and most importantly, because it's good for all. And if you agree, please affirm with me as we say, in every language. And so it is. Amen. Ashe. Shalom. Where am I? Thank you.
This one's for sure a sing-along. We're so thankful for that message and for this day. Absolutely.
This beautiful day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. My friends, my friends, my beautiful friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. Thank you for the love, Spirit. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the love, Spirit. Thank you for the love. The love, the love, the beautiful love. Thank you for the love, Spirit. Thank you for the love. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day.
Oh, good job, everybody.
Thank you so much. That was wonderful. Thank you for this day. I'm going to be speaking on some of that next week, just by the way, on the life-changing power of gratitude. So, part of our grand rising. Just saying, that may not be in the announcements, but you know, I'm off the cuff half the time. And as I'm off the cuff half the time, are you willing to give me a minute or two of your time that's off book? Everybody, just go into that place that is the presence within you, or the peace, or the stillness, or whatever that is. Whether that's with your eyes opened or your eyes closed, doesn't matter to me, whatever feels good. And in that place, I want you to look at how this center, this physical space, is so amazingly built out and beautiful. Imagine that you are coming here on a Sunday or for a special program or a class or whatever, and you are walking into this grand sanctuary that is open next door to us. Imagine how it feels. Imagine the love that is permeating this center and the people who are coming, and the joy that you feel to be a part of this, how connected you feel. Imagine the growth of your connections with each and every person here, from our senior minister, to our board members, to our musicians, to each other in this grand community that we already are, the families who are coming, the blessings that are coming, the love and service and things that we do not even expect. Ernest Holmes says, expect the unexpected. And so right now I invite you to expect the unexpected, to take this into your day in grace and to know this is all that is happening. Thank you. When you're ready, just come back. Reverend Sharon, thank you for your patience with me.
More, baby, more.
All right, okay, you got another hour? No, I'm just kidding. It is our offering time, and I want to remind everybody that we are in the midst of offering both for our regular tithing, for the just the general sustenance of this center. You know, there's electricity and rent and all the things, and paying our musicians, and because we like them, you know, and our senior minister for that matter, and other people. So that's sort of keeping the lights on, so to speak. And then there's also the build out, and there's been a lot of physical effort, you know, sweat equity as they call it, put into the labor of love that is this center. And of course there are always also supplies and specialists and different things that are needed. And so as we give our tithes, when we have the extra, we also give to the building fund, and they're separate, and they're both so valued, and they both increase our own sustenance. For as we sustain, we are sustained, right? So I just want to remind everybody of that. Giving financially is a sacred service because it serves us, and as Reverend Sharon has pointed out, we are it and it is us. So I won't go into more than that. Join me though in our abundance affirmation, and if you're online, please say this as well. In consciousness of abundance, I give freely, knowing that I am freely given to. Thank you. And you can sing this as our offering takes place.
I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Thank you. And now the part of the service you all really came for, it's the announcements. That's why you're actually here. This is the fun part. This is what you're here for. Prayer requests. We get prayer requests multiple times a week. I sent one out yesterday. So if you go onto www.saccsl.org, our website, there is a prayer button. Just like there's a donate button, there's a prayer button. So please donate and please ask for prayer. They don't necessarily go together. I'm not saying that, but you can always pray. We love to pray. It enriches us. So we do have board member positions open. Do you know someone who has these qualifications? And it's a long list, so you don't have to read them all now. But if you know someone who might be interested in a board position you feel would be good serving on the board, they don't necessarily even have to have a special role. This is a great service, and it is a great way to connect more deeply. And if you ever think things should be done differently, step up. So talk to Ruth as our president, or any of the board members.
And this is on our website.
And this is on our website.
If they want to read all of it.
Yeah, read all the things or don't. Thank you. We are having Song Circle every third Sunday of the month. I don't know why I started to say Saturday. Every third Sunday of the month, everyone is welcome. It happens after service, and it is a time to share song and really enjoy singing together and
Just have fun.
have fun.
When is the next one?
Today.
Oh my goodness. I was thinking that. And then we have a new class that began already on January 6th that Reverend Sharon is teaching. What do we always say? You change your thinking and you change your
Life.
Yeah, I'll be talking on that next week. And this class is a monthly opportunity to dive deep into changing your thinking and changing your life. So it's a way of not having to go every week, but you know, what's happening every month? And I know people who are loving this class. So.
And we have one more week they can join.
So they can join, and that would be February
The first Saturday of the month.
3rd, 2nd, 3rd? February 3rd. So you can still join February 3rd, and it goes on for how long?
6 weeks.
6 weeks, 6 months.
I mean, 6 months. It's a 6-week class. Yes.
Wonderful. Okay, thank you. Oh, who is that? Wait, what? So yes, next week I will be speaking, as I mentioned, and after that we are going to have a vision board workshop. Some of you have done this with me before. Come have fun, roll up your sleeves. I've got magazines that y'all made me take home before, so I have those. I have scissors, I have glue. If you have more things to bring, though, as people always do, feel free to. We'll be setting up some tables and just enjoying each other. And the vision board process is shockingly transformative. I've had more things manifest. So you want to manifest some things? Come on, join me, have fun. Volunteer Day. So speaking of getting this center in shape, speaking of the labor of love, February 10th from, I think, 9 to 4, is that right? Yeah. You have to have incredible skill with all of these things to show up. Not really. You do not. We will already have the professional help that we need. Please just show up with your snacks if you want to bring them, and also your willingness to do some taping and do some this and do some that, and enjoy crafting this center into this incredible space that we know is already ready to manifest. Here it is. Another class. Speaking of vision boards, now we're moving into visioning, which is a different practice, a way of connecting with our higher self and the infinite that brings in the most amazing and profound changes. And so we welcome you to the visioning class that Reverend Sharon will be teaching starting in February, and that is starting the end of February, the 27th, through April 2nd. And that's in person and online? Is
And
that correct?
all these slides are on the website.
And all these slides are on our website. It's magnificent. This one is an only virtual class, and is the Saturday morning class only in person?
Yes,
Okay, and the vision board is both.
both.
Yeah, although in person's kind of better, but do both. And we have an affirmation for you. Join with me in saying this and knowing this for yourself and bringing it into your week. The universe is always conspiring for my highest and best. And so it is. And so in this continuing presence, we know that good is all that is happening. It is the pure presence of our being as I flow with good. And each and every person here is in the midst of the sparkling energy of divine life. And this divine life is pouring into our very veins, the veins of who and what we are, of our experience and of the experience of the world. We take into our week, into our lives, the wholeness and the goodness, the peace and the truth of who and what we really are. Today we know this truth. We bring it to our lives. It is done, and so it is. Oh, yeah, and music. And after that, join us for fellowship. Oh, we have cupcakes. Join us for cupcakes and fellowship. For Ernest. Happy birthday, Ernest. Okay.
Got too excited. There we go.
Some people come for the message, they come for the music, they come